The moment humanity decides to return to the moon is never just about rockets, or technology, or even science. It's about unfinished stories. It's about echoes from the past calling into the future. And as the engines ignite beneath the spacecraft carrying the crew of NASA's Artemis II mission, the world watches not just a launch, but the continuation of a legacy that began more than half a century ago. For decades, the moon has remained untouched by human footsteps since the final mission of the Apollo era. The last time astronauts orbited or walked on its surface, it felt like the beginning of something permanent. Instead, it became a pause, long, silent, and uncertain. But Artemis II is not just about returning. It's about rewriting the future of space exploration, with a crew that represents not only experience, but a new generation of ambition. Inside the spacecraft, 4 astronauts sit strapped into their seats, surrounded by screens, instruments, and the quiet hum of systems running perfectly. At least for now. Their mission is deceptively simple: travel around the moon and come back. No landing. No dramatic moonwalk. But in reality, it's one of the most critical test flights in modern space history. Because everything that comes next depends on this. As the countdown reaches its final seconds, time seems to slow. The voices in mission control are calm, almost too calm, masking the years of preparation, the pressure, and the stakes. Then, in an instant, the silence breaks. The engines roar to life. Flames erupt beneath the rocket, and slowly, almost impossibly, it begins to rise. The Artemis II mission has officially begun. This mission carries the Orion Spacecraft, a vehicle designed to take humans deeper into space than ever before. Unlike the Apollo missions, which were groundbreaking for their time but limited by the technology of the 1960s, Orion represents decades of innovation. It's built for longer missions, harsher conditions, and a future where humans don't just visit space, they live and work there. As the rocket climbs higher into the sky, leaving Earth behind, the astronauts begin their journey into the vast darkness of space. The blue planet fades beneath them, shrinking into a fragile sphere suspended in blackness. It's a view that never loses its impact, no matter how many times it's been seen. And for the crew, it's a reminder of what they're leaving behind, and what they're representing. Among the crew are individuals who embody the diversity and evolution of space exploration itself. This isn't the 1960s anymore. The faces inside that spacecraft tell a different story. One that reflects a broader, more inclusive vision of humanity's future beyond Earth. Each astronaut carries not just their own dreams, but the hopes of millions who see themselves in this mission. As Orion enters orbit around Earth, systems are checked and rechecked. Every movement, every signal, every calculation is scrutinized. Because once they leave Earth's gravitational embrace and begin their journey toward the moon, there is no turning back. Hours pass. Then comes the critical moment, the translunar injection burn. It's the maneuver that will send the spacecraft on its path toward the moon. The engines fire again, this time with precision rather than power. And just like that, Artemis II is no longer orbiting Earth. It is on its way to the moon. The journey is both thrilling and isolating. Space, despite its beauty, is unforgiving. There is no room for error. Every system must function perfectly. Every decision matters. The astronauts move through their routines with discipline and focus, but there are moments, brief, quiet moments, when they look out the window and see something few humans have ever witnessed. The Earth, now distant, glows like a jewel in the darkness. And ahead, the moon grows larger with each passing hour. For many, the moon is a symbol. It represents curiosity, exploration, and the human desire to reach beyond what is known. But for the Artemis II crew, it's also a destination. A place they must navigate around with precision, testing every system that will one day carry astronauts to its surface once again. As they approach lunar orbit, the spacecraft begins its most delicate phase. The gravitational pull of the moon takes over, and Orion must adjust its trajectory with incredible accuracy. Too fast, and it could be thrown off course. Too slow, and it risks being pulled in dangerously close. The moon fills the window now, its surface marked by craters, shadows, and a stark, haunting beauty. This is not the romanticized moon of poetry and dreams. This is a real place. Harsh, silent, and ancient. The astronauts are about to do something that hasn't been done since the Apollo era. Fly around the moon. As Orion curves around the far side, something remarkable happens. Communication with Earth is lost. For a brief period, the crew is completely alone, cut off from mission control, from the world, from everything they've ever known. It's a moment that astronauts often describe as both terrifying and profound. This is the far side of the moon, the side that never faces Earth. A place of complete isolation. Inside the spacecraft, the crew continues their work, running tests, monitoring systems, and documenting everything. But there's also an unspoken awareness of where they are. Few humans in history have experienced this exact moment. It's a reminder of how far they've come, and how far humanity is willing to go. When communication is finally restored, there's a sense of relief, but also accomplishment. They've done it. They've successfully navigated around the moon. But the mission is far from over. The return journey is just as critical as the trip there. In fact, it may be even more dangerous. Re-entering Earth's atmosphere at high speed requires precise calculations and flawless execution. Too steep, and the spacecraft could burn up. Too shallow, and it could skip off the atmosphere and be lost in space. As Orion begins its journey back, the astronauts prepare for re-entry. Systems are checked once again. Every detail is reviewed, because there are no second chances. During the return, the crew continues to gather data that will be essential for future missions, including Artemis III, which aims to land astronauts on the moon for the first time in decades. This is what makes Artemis II so important. It's not just a mission. It's a proving ground. The spacecraft must demonstrate that it can support human life beyond low Earth orbit. It must show that its systems are reliable, that its design is sound, and that it can handle the extreme conditions of deep space travel. Every second of this mission is being analyzed by engineers and scientists back on Earth. Every success brings them one step closer to a future where humans return to the moon, not just for brief visits, but for sustained exploration. And beyond that, Mars. Because that's the ultimate goal. The moon is not the final destination. It's a stepping stone. As the spacecraft approaches Earth, tension builds once again. Re-entry is one of the most dangerous phases of any space mission. The heat generated by the friction of the atmosphere can reach thousands of degrees. The spacecraft must rely on its heat shield to protect the crew. The capsule begins its descent. Plasma builds around it, creating a fiery glow visible from the ground. For those watching below, it's a breathtaking sight. For those inside, it's a test of everything they've trained for. Then, slowly, the parachutes deploy. One by one, they open, stabilizing the spacecraft and slowing its descent. The ocean below comes into view, and within moments, Orion splashes down safely. The mission is complete. But what Artemis II represents is only just beginning. This flight marks a turning point. For the first time in decades, humans have traveled beyond low Earth orbit and returned safely. It's proof that the dream of deep space exploration is not just alive, it's accelerating. The Artemis program itself is named after a figure from mythology, the twin sister of Apollo. And just as the Apollo missions defined a generation, Artemis is poised to define the next. But this time, the goals are different. It's not just about planting a flag or winning a race. It's about building a presence, establishing a foothold, creating the infrastructure that will allow humans to live and work on the moon, and eventually venture even further. The success of Artemis II lays the groundwork for everything that follows. It validates the technology. It builds confidence. And perhaps most importantly, it inspires. Because missions like this do more than advance science. They capture the imagination of people around the world. They remind us of what we're capable of when we push beyond our limits. In classrooms, in homes, in cities across the globe, people watch this mission and feel something stir, a sense of possibility. The same feeling that inspired generations during the era of Apollo program. The same feeling that led to the historic moment when Neil Armstrong took his first steps on the lunar surface. Artemis II doesn't include a landing. There are no footprints left behind. But its impact may be just as significant, because it proves that we are ready to go back. And not just back, to go forward. As the astronauts emerge from the capsule, greeted by recovery teams and the vast expanse of ocean around them, there's a quiet sense of achievement. They've completed their mission. They've done what they set out to do. But they also know something else. They've opened the door for those who will follow. The next mission will aim for the surface. And after that, more missions, more exploration, more discoveries. Step by step, humanity is returning to the moon. And this time, we're not just visiting. We're staying.